Oh my God, I'm yawning. Oh, where do I start with this one? This is Yolande Catherine Renee Faro, the police chief of TMPD. She has a career in municipal policing executive with 25 plus years experience, including building and leading metro police departments, now heading the TMPD during a period of alleged systematic corruption exposure. She served a 5-year contract at Nelson Mandela, roughly between 2016 and 2022. And when her contract expired, uh, the municipality did not renew. This is how she came to TMPD. I'm really trying to be nice. This woman here, the TMPD chief of police, is completely out of touch with reality, not suited for a position. She's very negligent, like gross negligence, poor job performance. Sleeping on the job, I think, is an underestimate. I've never seen this. Anyway, let me switch back to professional language. Let me say exactly the same thing professionally. In her testimony, she points to a leadership model that did not provide sufficient visibility or control over high risk areas. Oversight mechanisms in place were not effective in detecting or preventing irregular activities. How did I do? Nelson Mandela Bay has 118 police force members, at least in 2022 when she was there. And then she was transferred over to TMPD. Well, she interviewed and got the job, and she has clearance, which has about 3,600 officers, according to her testimony. So you can see the contrast. EFF critics at the time when she was appointed in this position argued she had led only a much smaller operation in Nelson Mandela Bay and questioned whether that experience translated to a far larger department. One councillor said she had led a team of about 70 there. Though that appears to be a political criticism rather than a neutral staff figure. So again, you always want to say Malema this, Malema that. Malema was right about her. He was right about her. She does not, oh my God, I'm trying to be professional. Let me not even go there. Police Chief Faro is the only witness so far that came to the commission and left with a basket full of homework. But more importantly, the panel is moving from what happened in TMPD and asking her why is that she didn't know that all these things were happening. I have put together 15 of Chief Faro's oversight failures. And these are them right here. You can pause this video and read through them. What I'm going to try and do is to go into details of a few of them for the next 5 minutes. So let's see how many of them we can do in 5 minutes. I'm just going to start with number 1. She did not properly know what was happening to the APSS for months after it returned to TMPD. APSS stands for Asset Protection and Security Services. This is the role that Rivospice is hired for at TMPD. So this security services of sites and the tenders that we talked about previously. So apparently the history of it is that it was originally with TMPD, and then it was transferred to the city manager, and then in July 2024 it was transferred back to TMPD. So when it was transferred back, she did not receive a handover report until April 2025. So between July 2024 and April 25, she received this whole department with no handover. She expressly said that for the longest time she could not properly acquaint herself with what was happening in this department, APSS. The APSS handover report that came 9 months later appears to have been a broad administrative handover document covering the history of this department. The absorption, insourcing of security guards, the staff movement, and some resource issues, but not a detailed operational risk report and not a meaningful explanation of an ad hoc system that later became a big risk area for the TMPD and the city. She did not treat this missing handover as something that she herself urgently needed or investigated. When asked if she investigated the report handover situation, she said, "No, I did not investigate it at all." She was relying on briefings. Oh, hey, here's another one. He was relying on briefings 3 times a week. Those briefings clearly did not surface the key problems. She said she meets her deputy commissioners 3 times a week, 7:30 in the morning, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And so these meetings, I don't know if she has them 3 times a week. What exactly are they discussing? Because these operational briefings are not structured for risk governance. The meetings described by the chief are operational in nature and do not reflect a structured risk management or internal control oversight framework as required by the is the PFMA, the metro version of the PFMA. Yes, she was informed, but not properly governed. Oh. And here's another big one. She told the panel of this commission at the Madlanga Commission, not all head deputies have SSA clearance. Though commissioners, deputies, brigadiers should have it. The panel pushed her that this should not wait for recommendations. That reflects weak vetting control over senior leadership. Next one, she only became seriously alarmed in March 2025-26 after problems were already substantial. She linked her concern to a period 18 to 19 March of 2025 and described stumbling across the ad hoc issue earlier and stopping an ad hoc on 12 March 2025. She sent an email to stop the ad hoc security services. The panel's broader concern was why such a system was only becoming visible that late, because by the time she stopped it in March, I think Goobies had already been paid almost 13 million by then. They'd already been paid from January to March of 2025. You guys can go to my recording with where I was summarizing Rivers Species testimony. There's a lot of detail, I think more meaningful detail than what this chief of police gave us. So by then, they had lost a lot of money. So moving on. This is going to be my last one. Al Piri's inspector, who is an inspector at TMPD, was described as TMPD slash APSS linked officer involved in issuing instructions or deployment related material during the problematic period. And the investigation later extended to him and those above him. That suggests supervision and reporting lines inside the TMPD were not tight enough. In 2015, there's absolutely no way that this police chief says he doesn't know all these problems. Because in 2015, Omashi Dlamini was being investigated for tender-related scams. What happened to that investigation? So this guy has been riding below the radar and siphoning millions together with Sergeant Nkosi, Fanny Nkosi. Oh my God. Oh my God. My strongest critique of Chief of Police Faro is not that she's implicated in the schemes. It is that her leadership model seems to have had all these weaknesses: delayed familiarization with the APSS, over reliance on subordinate briefings. The briefings that she gets 3 times is whatever they choose to tell her. Weak visibility over procurement outcomes. And then the other thing, she said the SLAs, the agreements, the tender agreements that she was supposed to sign, she never signed them. River Peace is the one who signed them. She never saw them. She never asked for them. Nothing. Who are vetting? Oh my God. Oh no, 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 no. Because her failures, honestly, before Masamula gets to appear in court, this woman needs to appear first. Definitely, she has to appear first with all these violations of the PFMA. She has to have I'm trying not to make this long, but this is how I'm going to close it. The MFMA risk here is not that the Faro ran the system, is that her oversight framework did not dictate or stop a potentially compromised procurement environment right underneath her nose. That's where I'm going to end it. Oh, by the way, what's his name? Sean Bolhuis, the deputy commissioner for training innovation, also is he was in an acting role before River Peace was given that position. Don't even, if you have not watched his testimony, don't bother. I have also compiled his list of oversight failures. Same bullshit, same thing. Don't even bother listening to it. Let's move on. Let's see what happens. So, sorry for making this long, but please, can you like, follow, and share my content with your friends?